Tonight, we're talking one-on-one with the Vice President to get his take on some hot-button issues. Plus, in a surprise twist, some traditionally DFL mayors speak out in support of President Trump. And a Duluth police sergeant recounts an encounter he says could have changed his life forever.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Tony is on assignment. Thanks for joining us. Vice President Mike Pence was in Duluth today touting jobs and pledging support for the mining industry. At a crowded Kluwer Marine Terminal, the Republican addressed a crowd of a couple hundred people. With Republican Congressman Pete Stauber and Tom Emmer by his side, Pence touted what he calls wins for the area at the hands of the Trump administration. That includes steel tariffs on China, renegotiations on NAFTA, and throwing support behind the mining and timber industries. Tonight, we had the opportunity to sit down with the Vice President one-on-one to learn more about the Trump administration's plans to tackle nationwide issues. CBS 3's Kendall Jarbo joins us now to break that all down for us. Kendall.
Kristen, the Vice President touched on many topics during his campaign rally in Duluth, but we had a chance to talk to him and ask him some more questions one-on-one. One of the hot-button questions is how the Trump administration has responded to the deadly coronavirus pandemic. The VP touts the president's decision to shut down travel to China, the creation of coronavirus task force, rapid testing, and distribution of personal protective equipment.
No American who needed a ventilator was ever denied a ventilator. Our doctors and nurses had the resources. And now as we see cases going down across the country,
Pence claims 3 major pharmaceutical companies are on track to have a vaccine for COVID-19 by the end of this year. We also asked him about violence in the nation amid calls for racial justice and police accountability. Recent protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin further pushed the conversation this week.
While we stand always for the principle of Americans to engage in peaceful protest, rioting and looting is not peaceful protest. And President Trump has made it clear we will have law and order.
When asked if he feels there is a need for police accountability in the nation, he said the administration is going to support the police while also supporting opportunity, education, jobs, and public safety for African Americans. When it comes to the iron range and the mining industry, Pence said Trump imposed tariffs on China to keep jobs in northern Minnesota.
And we're going to continue to stand strong for the right of the people of Minnesota, all across northern Minnesota and, of course, across the Iron Range to develop all the resources of our land.
In closing, Pence said it's all about bringing jobs back to U.S. industries. This was Pence's second visit to Duluth. The first was in August of 2018.
All right, thanks, Kendall. And during the Vice President's rally, 2 northern Minnesota mayors who say they've traditionally supported DFLers and Democrats appeared on stage alongside the Vice President at one point today. Virginia Mayor Larry Cuffey Jr. and 2 Harbors Mayor Chris Swanson each spoke briefly about why they've made the switch and now support the Trump administration. Afterward, we caught up with Cuffey to learn more about why he no longer stands behind the DFL.
Democratic Party, at least at the federal level, is against. They want to eliminate fracking. They want to eliminate hard rock mining expansion. They do not want to support any precious mineral mining, and that's the bread and butter of the Iron Range economy.
While addressing the crowd today, Cuffey said he's been a Republican in Democrat clothing. Before the Vice President's visit to Duluth this afternoon, Minnesota DFL leaders spoke out against the campaign stop. The call included DFL Party Chairman Ken Martin, Duluth Mayor Emily Larson, along with a local nurse and Duluth resident. They claim the Trump administration failed in responding to the coronavirus pandemic and continues to hurt Americans. After wishing Pence a safe visit to town, Mayor Larson says this administration's leadership is taking its toll on local communities.
What I do know is that in a crisis, leadership either shines or it hides. Nobody in the United States has created this pandemic, but nobody is taking the responsibility on the national level that they need to. And that starts with the White House.
Larson also showed her support for Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden and vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, Joe Biden released a statement today on the vice president's visit to Duluth. Biden said in part that President Trump and Vice President Pence aren't able to make a case for their reelection, so they're trying to distract from what he called their failures to Minnesota and the nation. right, Dave's here for a look at the weather. Dave, I had to head out to northwest Wisconsin briefly in between the shows here to say hi to my sister and little nephew, and there was some rain out there.
Yeah, and there was a couple of rain showers popping up over at Movies in the Parking Lot, which wrapped up this evening. So that was a fun event all summer long and brought back the flavor and the feeling of the old-fashioned drive-in.
Yeah.
So one silver lining to the COVID crisis, perhaps. Well, the rain didn't hamper the show, didn't hamper your visit either. And some towns didn't get that much today. Many Minnesota places, only about a trace, did get a half-inch in Aiken. Wisconsin and Michigan were heavier, 0.8 of an inch towards Ironwood, 1.5 inches around Hayward. But the low-pressure system that brought the clouds and the rain is departing. Drier, higher pressures coming in for the weekend. That should mean sunshine. So our forecast tonight says that 30% rain chance is pretty rapidly fading away. And then it's clear to partly cloudy both for Saturday and for Sunday. But after a hot July and a warm August, a cooler September could be coming as we dip below normal for a couple of days, including the weekend. We'll show you the numbers for that in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. 2 people are hurt after a jet ski caught fire tonight in Rice Lake. The St. Louis County Sheriff's Office says crews responded to the incident on Island Lake just before 7. Members of the rescue squad say a jet ski exploded near the shore and caused a pontoon boat to catch fire, injuring 2 people. At this time, we don't know the extent of those injuries. Crews cleared the scene just after 8 o'clock. Duluth police have arrested 2 men involved in gunshots being fired in downtown. The incident happened overnight Thursday in an alley off 2nd Avenue East. Police say an officer witnessed multiple gunshots coming from 2 vehicles. Another responding officer located 1 vehicle near West 3rd Street. Police arrested a 32-year-old man who ran from the scene. They also arrested a 30-year-old man after resisting officers. The Duluth Police Department's Violent Crimes Unit is investigating this case. 2 men suffered gunshot wounds in a separate incident Thursday night, this time in the city's Central Hillside neighborhood. Police say the shooting happened near North 4th Avenue and East 8th Street around 8:30. A 22-year-old suffered a gunshot wound to his arm and back. A 21-year-old was shot in the arm. Police have not arrested anyone in the case. A Facebook post recounting a shots fired call from one Duluth police sergeant has gained a lot of traction after he says he almost shot an unarmed black man. CBS 3's Natalie Grant joins us now with a breakdown of this event and why the officer wanted to share his story. Natalie.
Kristen, the Duluth Police Department posted Sergeant Matt McShane's story on Thursday night. Since then, it has been shared more than 54,000 times. The post starts with Sergeant McShane stating, "Last night, my world and my entire family's world was almost changed forever. I almost shot an unarmed black man." He explains when he arrived on the scene Wednesday night, he got word that 17 gunshots were fired. He and his partners ran towards the scene in an attempt to stop the shots. When they approached the suspects, he goes on to describe his thoughts. Where are the guns they used? Do they have them? Are they going to try to kill my partners? He then sees his partners fighting with one black man while the other one turns and runs. They yell at him to stop. Now, Sergeant McShane goes on to describe what happened next. He says police followed one of the men, still not knowing where the gun was located. He said, quote, "The male keeps running until I and my partner gain ground on him and he stops. Get your hands in the air." He does not. "Get on the ground," they said. He does not. He says that in that moment, he leveled his pistol at him, wondering if he was going to have to shoot to save himself and others. He says he went on to think of his wife, his children, his community, and the unrest that could cause around the nation and here in Duluth based off this half-second decision. An attempt to save others. The man was then tackled, McShane states, quote, "I almost shot an unarmed black man. He was unaware the man was unarmed because he had thrown a gun in a bush while running out of sight of the officers." Now, Sergeant McShane finished his post by saying that incidences like these happen across the country regularly, asking people to make sure that they have all the facts before jumping to conclusions in situations like this. Now, of the thousands of responses and comments to this post, there was reaction both in support of what Sergeant McShane is advocating towards and those against, referencing the mistrust that other communities feel towards police that has sparked unrest across the country. Now, in the end, the officers involved in this incident sustained minor injuries and 2 suspects were arrested. The incident was not made known to the media prior to this post.
All right, thanks, Natalie. And we did reach out to Sergeant McShane for comment. He did not get back to us by news time. If you'd like to read the full post, we will have a link on our website. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, after nights of unrest in Minneapolis, a curfew has now been lifted.
Record high temp for the date, 91 degrees from 1984, 34 the lows from 1982. I remember both of those days. Tomorrow, that day, and in between the two. Not really warm, not really cool, but a little bit cooler than normal. Is this the start of autumn already? I'll let you know with the 7-day forecast after our break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3. Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS.
Call A1 Movers today to schedule a free office relocation estimate. We have all the necessary tools and experience to help streamline your business's change of address. Our friendly, uniformed crew will carefully relocate and protect both your new and existing facility. Whether across the street or around the globe, one call hauls it all. Take the burden off of your staff and put it on ours. Remember, moving is hard. Calling A1 Movers is easy.
This summer, it's time to get back outdoors. Your Honda dealer is open and ready to get you into a new Honda today. Enjoy the sunshine in the family-friendly Pilot or the rugged Passport. Visit the Honda Summer Clearance Event and get a great deal from Honda, KBB.com's 2020 Best Value Brand. Get a great deal on the Pilot at the Honda Summer Clearance Event today.
Hi, I'm Stephen Ray. At Miners National Bank, we offer local originating, local processing, local closing, and local servicing. For your next mortgage, apply now. MinersMortgage.com.
Miners National Bank of Evelyn, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Storm damage happens, and when it does, turn to Peak Construction Roofing, the Northland's storm damage experts. Peak simplifies the process for you every step of the way. We offer insurance claims assistance and free storm damage inspections. Call Peak Construction Roofing today and let us take care of you.
Mom, I'm here. Mom, where are you? Help. Mom?
Without emergency protection, you risk your life. But with Life Alert, one press of a button can get you help fast.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-458-9565. That's 1-800-458-9565. Call now, 1-800-458-9565. For a free brochure, call 1-800-458-9565.
We are making progress in downtown Duluth. Lake Avenue has now reopened to traffic. Plus, Season 3 of Superior Street reconstruction is moving right along with an expected completion this fall. In these uncertain times, it's more important than ever to support our small, locally owned businesses, especially those in our construction zone. Whether it's a takeout meal or dining in, retail purchase or gift cards, they all make an impact in our community. Check out our progress and show your love for downtown Duluth small businesses.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS 3 Live at 5 on Live Local CBS 3. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, while Kristen talked about still having gray skies and showers in northwestern Wisconsin, and I mentioned that here in the Twin Ports the sky is still gray and we got a few showers. Up north, this system has already started to pass. Here's a shot earlier this evening from Birch Lake in between Ely and Babbitt. Picture comes courtesy of Eric Sherman, one of the photographers for the Ely Echo, and it's just gorgeous. Great night to be out there on your what looks to be homemade houseboat on a pontoon. Now I've got a hankering to build one, and my neighbor was selling a pontoon boat just the other week on his front lawn, and now it's gone. Oh well. Best laid plans of mice and meteorologists sometimes go awry, and what's coming our way tomorrow will be a clearer sky like we see on Birch Lake, so the rest of us will follow suit tomorrow as higher pressure takes over the region. And we say goodbye to the departing low. Right now, let's say hello to the current conditions at the airport. 64 degrees, the current temp, 78% for the relative humidity. North-northwest winds going 10 miles per hour, and a northwesterly wind's always a good sign that a low-pressure system's departing. Southwesterly wind means one's coming. Easterly wind means it's on top of you. Northwest wind means it's leaving. Air pressure right now is 29.77. Starting to climb up now, too, as pressure increases behind the departing low. Temperature-wise, we're looking at 59 to 62 in the UP. And we're looking at 61 to 67 in northwestern Wisconsin. Fairly warm, a little bit muggy for some folks in the Hayward area. 57 to 63 for the North Shore, and about 57 to 63 for the rest of inland parts of Minnesota. Low temps for most places likely will fall into the 50s, though 60s just might hold on to portions of towns right by the shores of Lake Superior. So Doppler map right now shows still a couple of sprinkles out there, but those should wrap up by midnight or so as the low pressure system departs and exits our region, and higher pressure comes to call for the weekend. Both Saturday and Sunday should be on the sunnier side from this high, but the cooler side as well, since it's a Canadian high that's coming to call. As early as Monday, well, that fades away itself, and then a new low comes rumbling out of Alberta, Canada. Doesn't look to be a huge system right now, but it will bring a 50-50 shot for some rain, both Monday and for Tuesday, before it in turn departs Wednesday for clearer and even cooler conditions. So warmer temperatures are fading away in steps, and I'll show you those steps now with the 7-day forecast. For tonight in Minnesota, like I mentioned, the lows should be in the 50s inland, lower 60s by the lake, and maybe down towards places like Moose Lake and Barnum as well. And if you're still holding on to a shower chance, it should end after midnight. In Wisconsin and Michigan, not too much after midnight, your rain chance ends as well with low temps 57 to 60. For tomorrow, daytime highs 70 to 74 will be what folks in Wisconsin and the UP get, with a clear to partly cloudy sky. Now keep in mind the normal is 72. Into Minnesota tomorrow, it will be cooler than normal, 60s right by the lake, but near normal, 70 to 72 inland. And as we eye up the extended forecast, we may spike up to 73 on Wednesday, and that'll be the warmest day of the week. Otherwise, bubbling under normal, 68 to 72 from Saturday through Tuesday, and about 65 or so once we get into Thursday. So September's coming, Kristen, and September-style temperatures are coming right on the mark.
It sure is. You know, 70s, though, we can't complain about that.
No.
That's a good mix for people who like it hot and people who like it a little cooler.
It really is. And then soon enough, 60s will be something we dream about. Remember when it was 66 that one day?
When it gets above freezing, we're like, oh, this is wonderful.
Indeed, yeah. Come March, when it hits 35, we're going to be basking in the glory.
Yes, we will. Thanks, Dave. After the police shooting of Jacob Blake, civil unrest bubbled up all around the country. Violent crowds were seen both in Minnesota and Wisconsin. In Minneapolis, city leaders enacted citywide curfews both Wednesday and Thursday night. Police say around 130 people were arrested Wednesday and 79 on Thursday for looting, being out past curfew, and vandalism. Mayor Jacob Fry spoke about the civil unrest at a press conference earlier today.
The last couple nights were tough. The last 3 months have been tough. The last 7 months with COVID-19, a financial and economic downturn, the killing of George Floyd, the subsequent unrest.
At the same press conference, he announced that there will not be a curfew in place tonight. However, law enforcement will still have an expanded presence throughout the city to preserve the peace. Help could be on the way for thousands of unemployed Minnesotans struggling to make ends meet during the pandemic. Today, Governor Tim Walz announced an extra $300 in new weekly unemployment benefits. It will be backdated to when the extra $600 a week in federal assistance ended last month. The governor hopes this will be a sigh of relief for Minnesotans.
The idea was to make sure that people were made as financially whole as they could be so they could continue to pay their rent, do their bills, but also spend into the economy.
To qualify, you have to be unemployed due to COVID-19. It's expected the fund has enough money to pay the benefits through mid-September. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, find out why thousands descended on the nation's capital today.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. The TED event is happening now, where you're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
At Starkovich Distributing in Virginia, we want you to be safe, so please don't drink and drive. Have a designated driver or call a cab. It's not worth the risk. You could get arrested or hurt yourself or others. Don't drink and drive.
Your local Minnesota Coors distributor reminds you not to drink and drive this holiday weekend. If you plan on drinking, plan ahead. It's not worth the risk.
DBS, your all things basement-y company. Does your home have uneven or sloping floors? How about cracked drywall, stair-stepping cracks, or bowed basement walls? You may have a problem with your foundation. Call the specialists at DBS. They thoroughly inspect your property and provide a permanent solution to your foundation problem. We offer a fully transferable warranty, unmatched in our area. Contact DBS, your all things basement-y company, for a free, no-obligation estimate. Call or visit us online. DBS, helping your family have a healthy, safe, and comfortable home.
Mediacom's fiber-powered broadband network was built for the future, and it's in your community. Delivering gigabit speeds to every home and business we serve. We'll be one of the first in the nation to take you to 10G, making your community one of the fastest in the world. The foundation is in place, and Mediacom will be making way for brilliant possibilities, igniting economic development and lighting up communities nationwide.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. Time's running out to buy America's best-selling brand with our best deals of the summer. Get great offers across the Ford lineup. Shop online or in person. But hurry while selection is best. The Ford Summer Sales Event ends September 7th. Right now, lease a Ford F-150 today for just $299 a month. That's just $299 a month. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
Are you a veteran and a homeowner? Then think Streamline and maybe save yourself hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. A VA Streamline refinance is just for veterans and lowers your mortgage rate so you can save on mortgage payments every month, every year. And it's easy to qualify. You don't need pay stubs, a W-2, bank statements, or a home appraisal. And mortgage rates now are very low. Veteran and homeowner? Call 888-327-6866.
Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS.
Up to 60% off on summer clothing and footwear from the North Face in Columbia at Northwest Outlet.
You work hard for your money and deserve to see it go the extra mile. Join us Wednesday mornings and hear from local experts on tips to better manage your finances in Eye on Money on live local CBS 3. Brought to you by MPPL Financial. Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS 3 Live at 5 on live local CBS 3.
Thousands descended on the nation's capital today, 57 years after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his I Have a Dream speech. The families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Jacob Blake were among those calling for police reform and racial justice. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
We will fulfill my grandfather's dream.
12-year-old Yolanda Renee King joined thousands of demonstrators in the nation's capital exactly 57 years after her grandfather, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., delivered his iconic I Have a Dream speech.
We are going to be the generation that dismantles systemic racism once and for all, now and forever.
Like the 1963 March on Washington, Friday's demonstration was also held at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. It comes during a summer of reckoning on race and police violence following the deaths of George Floyd in May and this week's shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Their families addressed the crowd.
I wish George were here to see this right now. That's what I'm marching for. I'm tired of looking at cameras and seeing these young black and brown people suffer.
Laverne Hines was at the original March on Washington as a toddler.
Who would think that 57 years later, we're still fighting for what we was fighting for then?
This group traveled from Iowa.
So what hasn't brought us here today? Honestly, it's overdue.
And Nicholas Dixon came here from South Carolina with a message for elected leaders.
We want them to have legislation that reflects our sorrows and our pain.
The families of other black Americans shot or killed in police incidents, including Breonna Taylor and Eric Garner, also attended the march. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Coming up in sports, Twins postponed, but the Brewers in action against the Pirates. Kelly's in next.
Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS.
The balances on your credit cards are worse than your yoga poses.
It's going to be a stretch to make those payments. Call Consolidated Credit.
They can lower your interest rates to get you out of debt fast without destroying your credit. The program works. Call Consolidated Credit. Call
1-800-322-8269. 1-800-322-8269.
Hi, I'm Steve Little with Bath Planet, your simple and affordable choice for bathtubs, showers, surrounds, and safety tubs. Right now, we are offering 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2022, or get your dream bathroom for as little as $69 a month. This offer ends August 31st, so call us today or go online to book your appointment to take advantage of this amazing offer. Bath Planet. Out of this world service and down to earth price.
For months, we've all done our best to stay safe. But to remain safe in the long run, it's up to us all to take actions that don't just slow the spread of COVID, but collectively overcome it. Like getting a test if you have any symptoms, answering if your health department calls, and wearing a mask in public spaces. We all want to regain what we love in life. To get there, we all need to go forward and do our part.
Coronavirus work injuries. Call Stockman Law Office. Return to work issues, payment of medical bills, and lost wages. Call anytime. 218-576-8599. No recovery, no fee. Please stay safe and healthy. Stockman Law Office. Serious injuries, serious law.
The 2020 summer clearance event at Duluth Dodge just got better. New Renegade Trailhawks from $198 a month. Cherokee Limiteds from $248. Grand Cherokee Laredos from $288. Only at the new Duluth Dodge, 4765 Miller Trunk Highway, or DuluthDodgeMinnesota.com.
So, you made it all the way up to the North Pole?
Yep, and the South. But I need good Medicare coverage so I can keep exploring.
Well, we have a range of Medicare Advantage plans, some including dental, vision, prescription, and travel benefits.
Can I find them online?
Yeah, absolutely. Or you can give us a call.
Sounds good.
Well, our stop is just up ahead.
So that was the shortest ride I think I've ever been on.
Yeah, quarantine legs. Gotta work those muscles back up.
Mariah Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the DW crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on social media and discoverwisconsin.com for behind-the-scenes content and great Wisconsin giveaways, including a chance to win a free vacation. This week's featured prize package could take you to Ripon. Just visit discoverwisconsin.com for details.
After last night's obliteration from the Cincinnati Reds, where the Brewers were outscored 12-1, it was time for them to turn the page against Pittsburgh. Catcher Jacob Nottingham getting ready. He was called up for an alternate training site as Manny Pena is on the 10-day injured list. Bottom of the first, Brewers on the board with a solo shot from Jed Jerko. His 4th of the year makes it 1-0. Bottom of the third, Ryan Braun goes on to extend it, blasts a 3-run shot, just his 2nd of the season, to make it a 4-run game. To the 4th, Nottingham making himself known this evening. He gets into the mix, busting out a 2-run homer. It's 6-0 Brewers. Boy, do they bounce back nicely. 9-1, they win the final. And opening week rolls on for teams in the Northland. Duluth-Denfeld girls soccer hosting Proctor at Public School Stadium. Scoreless just until about 15 minutes in. Denfeld's Cameron Hill puts one just out of the reach of the goalkeeper, Ava Bennett. Hunters grab an early 1-0 lead. To the second half, Proctor trying to get something going. Kelsey Tangen with a chance, but she's denied by Mary Johnson, keeping it at 1-0. Now, late in the game, Cora Samuelson on the penalty kick shoots and scores. Denfeld would add one more. They win with the nice 3-0 shutout. The Big Ten announced earlier this month that they would not play football this fall. But now, according to a report today, games in 2020 could possibly happen. According to the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, a January return to football plan could be earlied up with games starting the week of Thanksgiving. Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren has been criticized by both players and some parents for acting too quickly to cancel the fall season. In fact, a lawsuit was recently filed by 8 Nebraska football players to have that decision overturned. And the earlier start is reportedly also being pushed by coaches. While the Big Ten reconsiders playing, the ACC, SEC, and Big 12 conferences plan to play football starting in September. And meanwhile, the NBA will return to play on Saturday after putting their season on hold for an entirely different reason. The game stopped Wednesday when the Milwaukee Bucks boycotted their game against the Orlando Magic to protest the shooting of Jacob Blake. What followed was a unified voice across sports, from the NHL to the WNBA to Major League Baseball, as players and teams sat out of scheduled games. Today, the NBA and its Players Association also announced they have formed a social justice coalition to promote voting and use league arenas as voting sites come this November. And the Minnesota Lynx back in action tonight against the Atlanta Dream from the bubble. This one was hot off the bench. Odyssey Sims drops it in, 17 points, 9 assists, and 7 boards. The captain was hot as well, Nafisa Collier with the fadeaway jumper, 19 for her on the evening. And they don't call this one Dangerfield for nothing. Crystal Dangerfield lets this one fall, leading the way for the Lynx tonight with 23 points. No Sylvia fouls, no problem. The Lynx win 88-79. The NBA will return to play this season after they put their games to rest this coming weekend. That's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
Change the future of medicine from the convenience of home. Join the All of Us research program to help improve health research and speed up medical breakthroughs. Visit essentialhealth.org/allofus to learn more.
Access North, over 30 years of service throughout northeastern Minnesota.
Being retired, I was looking for a little supplemental income. Access North offered the perfect solution with their homemaking services position. It's not only personally rewarding, helping other seniors and veterans, but it helps me stay active, the hours are flexible, and I can make some extra money too.
For more information about their homemaking services and other employment positions, call Access North, Center for Independent Living today.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The Subaru Outback is all new for 2020. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 33 miles per gallon. An available 260 horsepower turbocharged engine, advanced technology, and an extra-large touchscreen. Welcome to the best Outback ever, the 2020 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
Lease a 2020 Subaru Outback during the Subaru A Lot to Love event going on now.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Attention women with ovarian cancer. Do you use talcum powder after showering? And did you know that talcum powder may increase your risk of ovarian cancer? If you are one of these thousands of women, call us now. You may be entitled to substantial cash compensation. Time is running out, so make the call. Women with ovarian cancer. If you use talcum powder, please call now.
Dude! You gonna pick that up? Because there's no poop fairy to do that for you. See? Take these. They're not just poop bags. They're pride bags. Because you're doing the right thing for your neighbors and for the health of the whole watershed. Gotta fly. There's a Chihuahua cranking one out in Leicester right now. There is no poop fairy.
When news breaks, be the first to know with CBS3. Alerting you with our mobile app, taking you live to the scene.
A lot of protesters walking.
Bringing you complete coverage on air. Showing you what's happening now, what's next, how it affects you.
There's a massive fire. We have a crew there live
Focused
now.
on urgency. Focused on accuracy. When news breaks in your neighborhood, be the first to know. With live, local CBS3. Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men. Mainstream is your wedding headquarters. Downtown Duluth.
Well, today is National Red Wine Day, not to be confused with National Drink Wine Day. That's actually in February. I know you're a Shirley. I know you're a Shirley Temple gal.
I know, when's that day?
All right, well, we'll figure it out. But Red Wine Day started back in 2014, and there are many ways to celebrate. For some, August 28th is the perfect day to open up your favorite red wine. And if you do, please say a little cheers to my dad. Today is his birthday, so happy birthday to my dad. Enjoy a glass for him if you can, if you'd like to. All right, Dave, let's get a final look at the weather.
Here's a new stuff for your dad, fellow Ranger.
He'll love that.
Yeah, give her heck, don't you know? Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the weekend. I think heck is going away. Tonight's low pressure system's departing rapidly, and higher pressure brings in some sunshine for Saturday and Sunday, but temperatures will be just a hair cooler than normal. Normal's around 72. We may undercut that a little bit, especially by Sunday. Then for Monday and Tuesday, our next rain chance comes around. It's a 50-50 shot. Primarily Monday, maybe a little bit of Tuesday. Then after that, it becomes sunny again, but then we really start to step down our temperatures after a small surge on Wednesday. We drop into the mid-60s.
All right. We were a little caught off guard at the start of that. It's Friday.
We need wine.
Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great weekend.